Hello and welcome to this 360-degree virtual reality video of the North Down and Ards area of County Down. We're going to be exploring Ulster-Scots history and heritage and legacy in this area. Now, the entire scene that you're looking at has been recorded with a 360-degree camera, which means that you can explore with me using your mouse at home or a VR headset to look all around you. So today we are in the beautiful little village of Groomsport, which is about halfway between Bangor and Donaghadee on the County Down coast. If you look to my right hand side, you'll see a location map to show you where Groomsport is. And now if you look to my left, you'll see the beautiful blue waters of Belfast Lough, which divides County Down from County Antrim. Now, tradition holds that it was Vikings who first established a little pier in this area, but we want to talk about a period in the early 1600s when a settlement of Scottish tenants made their new homes here under a landlord called Sir James Hamilton. Now, in the early 17th century, they were arriving into a landscape which had been decimated following the Tudor Wars. But soon they began to settle down and establish new homes for themselves. The landlord, Sir James Hamilton, employed a map maker to sketch out the lands of his new settlement and to show the progress of his tenants. You can see a copy of that map with Groomsport, or Groomsport, the port of the gloomy servant, clearly marked if you look to my right. Now, this coastal location was ideal for fishing, and many of the Ulster-Scots settlers began making a living for themselves as fishermen. They built cottages like this beautiful one behind me, Cockle Row Cottage, with its beautiful thatched roof, its thick stone walls, whitewashed here as you see, glazed windows, and the traditional little half door. You see the little half green door there. The gable walls would have faced the sea to protect the front of the house from the winds coming off the sea. And if you'd gone through the door, you would have found the beaten earth floor, the inglenook fireplace, perhaps with a pot of potatoes boiling or, maybe some bread baking on the griddle, maybe the fisherman sitting on a stool mending his nets. This was a simple kind of an existence. And to my right, you can see an image of what a typical interior might have been from a cottage of this style back in the day. Look now across the green. Do you see that church? That's Groomsport Presbyterian Church. And Presbyterians in this area would have witnessed a very interesting chapter of history in 1636. Imagine you were standing here. September is the date, September 1636. Somewhere in this area, and there's an old postcard on the left to give you a bit of an impression, there stood a boathouse. Just offshore from the boathouse, a wooden sailing ship was moored in the bay, and on that boat were 4 Presbyterian ministers and members of their congregations. They were departing Ulster to begin a new life in Boston, across the Irish Sea. The ship was called the Eagle Wing, and the reason why the Presbyterians were leaving was because in the early 1600s they were experiencing persecution on account of their Presbyterian faith. The Anglican or Established Church of Ireland at the time was deposing Presbyterian ministers, and so, led by their 4 ministers, these Presbyterians set sail across to Boston. But after 8 weeks at sea, bad weather forced them to return again. Nonetheless, the departure of the Eagle Wing is considered to be the spark that lit the flame of Presbyterian emigration, which then continued over many years to come. You're going to hear more now about Presbyterian history at a second location in Groomsport. So take a last look around you here now, and then you can join me at the other end of the village to hear what happened in the late 1600s. Hello again. So now we have come to the village green, which is at the west end of the village of Groomsport. Take a look out across the mouth of Belfast Lough. Scotland's out there in the distance. I want you to imagine that the year is 1689. You and your Ulster-Scots family have been settled here for almost a century now, fishing and farming, trading and socialising with the other tenants of those early Ulster-Scots estates of Sir James Hamilton. You've witnessed the 1641 uprising of the native Gaelic Irish. You've witnessed the Cromwellian years, the restoration of King Charles II, and now James II is the king. It's a beautiful August day. You're gazing out across this water when you see ships beginning to arrive, huge numbers of ships. This is the advance party of William of Orange. It's led by General Schomberg, who's William's commander-in-chief. There's huge activity. A 38-gun salute goes off. Local sailors escort this armada, get them past the treacherous Briggs rocks and the ship's anchor, and the sailors all begin to come on shore. If you look around me, you'll see portraits of the Duke of Schomberg himself and also William of Orange. And now take a look at this little memorial stone. You can read on that the words, the Battle of the Boyne. This battle of 1690 between the Protestant prince, William of Orange, and his Catholic father-in-law, James II of England, is still commemorated to this day in towns and villages across Northern Ireland. The Battle of the Boyne. Orange men, members of the Orange Order, parade through the towns and villages, often holding great banners. Some of those show General Schomberg, some of them show King William, other scenes from history. And again, if you look around, you'll see images of some typical banners. In recognition of the support of Presbyterians during the Williamite campaign, King William III instituted the Irish Regium Donum, which was a gift or a bounty of £1,200 per year to members of the Presbyterian clergy. And that annual bounty continued well into the 1860s. So that concludes our tour of Groomsport. I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe you've been inspired to come and visit this beautiful little village for yourself. Or maybe you'll continue and watch some more of our virtual reality tours. Thank you.